soft skills be measurable, quantifiable. This has been the bane of the Sage Presence existence for years until recently, because we deal with this elusive quality, this ethereal presence, which actually has a profound impact on how we lead, how we sell, how we grow relationships, how we create our client experience. Our presence in professional services defines so much of that. It is hard to follow the unfollowable. It is hard to grasp the brand through someone who's not brand consistent. It's hard to build relationships with those who are transactional, and it's hard to win the business without winning presence. So this thing is both elusive and tangible at the same time. And I want to suggest, as you look at soft skills, that you see the connection between this seemingly elusive thing and the quantifiability of measurable and observable. So at Sage Presence now, partially due to some injection of new thoughts through new team members, such as Ellen Reuters, who's one of our team now, we connected to her initially because she was so committed to the measurable difference, the measurable impact. And if you look at soft skills and you look at training, you look at teaching, you look at culture change, all of these things so often fade. You teach someone, they learn it, it fades, it fades, it fades, it fades. And that's because it's missing the equation of sustainability. So here's the equation that I'm talking about. Soft skills, which are behaviors or communication steps and methodology, it has to be observable, meaning someone has to be able to see it. If you're doing that thing, making deep connections, I need to see that. If you're more confident, I should be able to see it. So we want to make sure we define the behaviors in our soft skills from the perspective of observability. You have to be able to see it. Secondly, there has to be some way to measure it, like I've seen you in 3 sales pitches and you always come across confident. We're trying to deepen the relationships, and I see you empathizing in the last series of meetings. So someone has to be able to spot it. We have to be able to tell the person or track somehow that we're seeing it. And if it's observable and it's measurable, it takes you to the next 2 key ingredients of the equation, because the next ingredient is that it's recognized. Now, this piece is why so much of the past work that I've done, I saw fade away, because it wasn't recognized. It's not that it wasn't there. It's not that it wasn't observable, but nobody was recognizing it. So leadership, who also often sends us down here to work, fix these people, doesn't recognize the fixes that we've made. We hadn't been teaching them to model and spot and recognize and affirm those behaviors. But now imagine, let's say I was struggling with confidence, and I learned that was showing up in interviews or presentations or sales pitches or wherever it was needed, client presentations. And I was now sent to have that soft skill taught, confidence. Now I've been confident. Now I'm showing up confidently. You can see it. If it's not recognized up here, it fades away. So if you're going to invest in your people's soft skills, you need to include the observing of the measurable, or the recognizing of the observable skill, so that they hear that someone sees it. And it is the recognition that makes you say, oh, this is working. Oh, this is taking. It helps you cure that into you so that it remains. And the last piece, which in some ways comes down on the importance compared to recognition, it's rewarded. If I'm rewarded for what I'm recognized for, we have completed the equation by giving the certainty that it matters. And the reason I said it comes down a bit is reward depends how you define it. For a lot of people, recognition is the reward. I just took on a behavior and it was observed and recognized, and I feel rewarded. But there also are rewards, like, I don't mean like bonus somebody for being competent, but you move up. There's positional increases. There's more responsibility. There's more meaning in your work. There might be shifts doors that you open up by suddenly having arrived at utilizing the soft skill. But let's stick with the point here. If the soft skill is somehow observable, and it is measured and recognized, and there are rewards for it, it stays. And the good news for those of you who need soft skills, and the good news for those who teach soft skills, is if you just run your skill set, your training, your teaching through this simple formula, which is it must be observable, it must be measurable, it must be recognized, and it must be rewarded. You have the ability to take a soft skill and embed it into a person, into a team, into a culture, into an organization, so that that soft skill is no longer ethereal, but it gets locked into behavior and action and becomes a sustainable value.